Hey Waffle Crew, I hope you're all doing great. I'm Mark, and today we're diving into more Reddit tales. If you enjoy these kinds of stories, consider smashing that like button, subscribing, and maybe even ringing that notification bell. Let's jump into the first story of the day, sending you all tons of love. Our first tale comes from user Olboyaboy, who writes, "My girlfriend playfully asked if we could try a threesome with her best friend, and now I'm either in trouble or just too eager for being open to it. Names are changed for obvious reasons. Last night, my girlfriend 23F asked me, 23M, if I'd be up for a threesome with her high school bestie, 24F. We've been talking about spicing things up in the bedroom for a while now. Things aren't dull, but we wanted to explore new ways to keep it exciting, so her suggestion wasn't totally out of left field. I was definitely caught off guard that she picked her friend as the third person, but since they're super close, it kinda made sense. Her friend and I aren't super tight, but we get along fine. So, I said yes. She stared at me, stunned, for what felt like forever. Finally, she asked, "Are you for real?" I replied, "Wait, were you serious?" She said, "No, I was joking." I found it kind of amusing for a second, but I held back my laughter because she clearly wasn't laughing. Without another word, she got up and slept on the couch. I tried calling her back as she left, but she said we'd talk in the morning. I figured it was best to let her cool off and discuss it when she was ready. The conversation that followed wasn't smooth. In short, she's furious because she thinks I'm too eager to sleep with her friend, and was way too enthusiastic about the idea. I didn't see it that way. I thought it was a chance to explore our intimacy with someone we both know and trust. Is she overreacting, or am I the jerk here? User Active Rain chimes in, "There are two people in this mess, and you're not the jerk. Your girlfriend's acting a bit childish. This is why threesomes rarely work in serious relationships. How's she going to handle it afterward, no matter who the third person is? If you touch the other person at the wrong moment or linger too long, you're in hot water." Another commenter adds, "She played a silly game and got upset when it backfired. If she's testing you like this and you're answering honestly, I don't see a bright future here." A third commenter says, "Not the jerk, that was a trap. Learn from this. Instead of eagerly saying, 'Yes, I'm down to sleep with your friend,' try responses like, 'Is that something you're really into?' Or, 'I don't think we should risk what we have unless you're certain.' Maybe even, 'I don't know if I could, but I'd be okay with you exploring with her if that's what you want.' Next time, don't sound so excited." User Ditto Datto Do offers, "I'm looking at this from a couple angles. First, you're not a jerk for being honest when she asked a question. If she didn't want the truth, she shouldn't have asked. But second, I'd strongly advise against bringing others into your bedroom if you see her as your forever person. It almost always leads to jealousy, insecurity, and broken relationships. If this isn't a serious commitment, maybe it's fine, but never do this with someone you plan to marry. Oh, the classic relationship test. Always a recipe for success, right?" But Olboyaboy posted an update a few days later. I've never done an update before, so let me know if I'm messing this up. I wanted to share what happened. I read as many comments as I could, and I appreciate all the input. The general vibe was that she was testing me, and I was naive, which I can accept. Lesson learned. We planned to talk after work, and with all the advice I'd read, I was ready. But before that, her friend texted me while I was at work. I was shocked to read, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know girlfriend's name was on FaceTime with me when she asked about the threesome. I was surprised by your answer, but I'm actually interested." I immediately thought this was another test. Determined not to fall for it again, I took a screenshot but didn't reply. When we sat down to talk, I couldn't help but confront her with the message, saying things like, "Why would you set me up like this? Don't you trust me?" I was furious and didn't let her speak until she finally interrupted and admitted she was wrong to ask about the threesome, but she hadn't told her friend to message me. I didn't buy it, so she let me check her phone. There was nothing there. Still, I don't know if I can trust her. Texts aren't the only way to communicate. Long story short, we broke up. I'm still reeling from this. It's crazy how a relationship I thought was solid could implode so fast. Thanks for the advice, Reddit. User Commodore responds, "So, your ex had her friend on FaceTime without telling you when she asked that question? Yeah, there's no trust left after that. Thank the friend for spilling the beans, then cut ties with both of them." OP replies, "That's exactly where I'm at. Such a bizarre, random thing to do. I've never dealt with anything like this. 5 months I'll never get back." Commodore adds, "It's rough that a dumb joke ended your relationship. It sounds like she's deeply insecure. Maybe she did talk to her friend, and the friend's enthusiasm made her uneasy. Breaking up might have been extreme, but you definitely need some space for a bit. If you really love her, maybe reach out later. Another commenter suggests, take a breather for a while. I'm not saying break up for good, but you both need a few days to cool off and think about what you want. Talking to her and her friend in person might clear things up. Did I read that right? They've only been together 5 months and are already trying to spice things up? That's a red flag. What do you all think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's move on to the next story. Our next tale comes from user Estrella Ente, who asks, am I the jerk for telling my girlfriend that if she wants me to keep supporting her sisters, she needs to get a job or cut down on their visits? Here's the story. My girlfriend, 30F, and I, 29M, have been together for 4 years. I thought I knew everything about her until recently, when I learned her father passed away and her mother and 3 sisters are homeless. We ended up taking in her sisters. At first it was manageable, but things spiraled quickly. Our expenses skyrocketed. Her sisters disrespect me, mock me, and have broken things I cherish. Coming home from Jinung system. The story has been rephrased to maintain the same structure, length, and details while changing the wording to avoid copyright issues. Below is the continuation of the rephrased story, Broken Things I Cherish. Coming home from work to a messy house and having to cook for 5 or 6 people is exhausting. My girlfriend's mental health has worsened, and she struggles to even get out of bed. But I urgently need support. My income barely covers a fraction of our costs. I'm working overtime and I'm drained. I asked my girlfriend to find a job, or we can't keep up this lifestyle. She's upset with me, saying I'm not supportive enough. My dad says I should step up and handle it for the woman I love. I'm at a loss. Am I the jerk for making this request? One commenter responds, you're not the jerk. You shouldn't be footing the bill for her entire family, especially since she's just your girlfriend, not your wife. This is outrageous. Are you sure this is the relationship you want? OP replies, honestly, no, this isn't what I want. Things haven't been good for a while. Plus, she hid the fact that she had a family all this time. It's shocking because I'm giving everything, and it's still not enough. Another commenter says, take your dad's advice to be a man, but use it to make the tough call to ask them to leave to protect your sanity. You're not obligated to sacrifice your health for everyone else. OP responds, I don't want to kick them out. I don't have it in me. But I'm mentally and physically broken. I feel like I've aged years in weeks. That's why I suggested this compromise. I can't keep going like this. Another commenter adds, I don't get your dad. Be a man? Has he ever single-handedly supported 4 homeless women and a depressed girlfriend? OP replies, thanks for the comment. My dad's old school. To him, a man exists solely to provide for his partner, no matter the cost, even if it pushes him to his limits. Many comments urged OP to leave the situation, warning that his mental health was suffering and it wouldn't improve if things continued. A week later, OP updated. I shared my issue here about a week ago and wanted to update you. I showed everyone that I was already in debt before the month's halfway point. The mother explained that her sister's family, where her daughters sometimes sleep, faces similar struggles. They're saving for mattresses and a room but rely on my place for meals and daytime shelter. I didn't think it was fair, and we argued. Things escalated when my ex gave me an ultimatum. Keep things as they are, or we're done. I saw it coming, so I started selling things to cover the month's rent and the penalty for breaking the lease early. I'm planning to move in with my mom or stepbrother this weekend, keeping it quiet to avoid more drama. The situation's a mess, and I don't want to make it worse. As for my dad, my stepmom put him in his place, and he apologized, which is rare. That's the update. I wish it was happier, but no. Feeling like a stranger in your own home is awful. A commenter asks, are you on the lease or mortgage? What's your housing situation? OP replies, it's a lease, and I'm the only one signed on it. Tomorrow or the next day, I'll contact the landlord, who knows what's going on. I'll likely pay a fine to end the lease this month and figure out what happens with my ex. I'm not sure what her future holds. The commenter says, you need to talk to your landlord about evicting them, though it might be a hassle. Get out as quickly as you can. Her not working is wild, and this is toxic behavior. What about the mom? Why isn't she working? How old are the sisters? Can't they get part-time jobs? OP responds, I'm talking to the landlady, who's figuring out next steps, but this will leave me broke. I don't know much about the mom. She can't drive, but that's all I know. My ex? When she had severe anxiety and depression 3 years ago, we agreed she'd be a stay-at-home partner with occasional part-time work. She hasn't worked for nearly 2 years, and her dad's death hit her hard. The sisters are 12, 5, 4, and 2. Some asked why OP couldn't evict the others and stay. OP says, the place has terrible vibes, memories, and feelings now. Plus, if I stay, they'd know where I am, and I'm honestly scared of retaliation. Someone asked what OP knows about his girlfriend's family. OP replies, I barely know them. Just weeks ago, I learned they were estranged, with no contact for years. My ex even said she had no family. Her relationship with her parents was shattered until her dad's passing. User Komoda says, if you're in the US, there are food pantries, churches, soup kitchens, and SNAP benefits. Agencies can help with food and housing. Point them there. OP replies, I'm not in the US, but my country has similar services. A week later, OP updated again. This week was wild. Stress and exhaustion caused work issues, but I spoke with my landlady. We agreed to end the lease. She's helping with the move, but charging a penalty for breaking the contract early. I sold nearly half my stuff to cover moving costs and fines. I'd have sold more, but time was tight. My relationship with my ex, even while living together, was icy. I barely spoke, calling her by her full name. She noticed and begged me not to leave or to forgive her, but I couldn't even look at her. I was a wreck all week, but I'm improving. On moving day, yesterday, the sisters weren't there, just her. It was chaotic. Yelling, kicking, insults. My mom, stepmom, and friends helped me move in just 30 minutes. I thought I had more stuff. My ex called a friend and a mutual acquaintance to take her things. It was an hour total, with half of it filled with screaming and crying. Thanks to my mom and stepmom, I held it together without breaking down. I've since blocked my ex and her family. I hope they leave me alone, but with them, who knows? My dad and I aren't talking. He and my stepmom are clashing over this. I'm now living with my stepbrother and his partner, sleeping on their couch but feeling free. I work at his business on Saturdays, but I have a roof over my head and food, even if I'm financially wiped out. Why did I act so quickly? Years ago, an ex's dad moved in after losing his home. I wanted to help, but it became a nightmare. He acted like he owned the place, brought friends over to play cards late on work nights, ate everything, didn't clean, had poor hygiene, and even banned me from sleeping with my girlfriend. He made us miserable. Getting him out was traumatic. He broke things, made the month hell, and even assaulted me in public. That relationship ended too. I refuse to relive that. Thanks for all the support and kind words, sending virtual hugs and good vibes to everyone. A top commenter says, you handled this like a pro. Moving out, dealing with the drama, cutting off toxic people, that's strength. Proud of you. Don't let anyone make you their doormat again. OP replies, thanks. It was brutal. These weeks drained me. I moved mountains to resolve this fast. I didn't want to repeat that past nightmare. A little sacrifice for a quick fix was worth it. My spine's like steel now. Someone asks why the ex didn't work. OP says she has severe depression and was already struggling. This situation made it worse. A commenter responds, as someone with mental health issues, I call BS. She decided you should support her and her family because it was easier than her working. She thought you'd cave. Now she has to pay her own way, which means getting a job. She's not upset because she loves you. She's upset because her free ride's over. OP replies, I was stunned by how little she cared. She saw me insulted, exhausted from 12-hour workdays, and still demanded more. I feel like I've shed multiple burdens. OP clearly made the right move. Sometimes the healthiest choice is recognizing when a relationship is done. She seemed content watching him struggle, get insulted, and work himself to death while demanding more. That's not love. Her ultimatum, keep suffering or break up, gave her what she asked for. I feel for anyone with mental health struggles, but you can't use that as an excuse to treat others poorly. His final update sounds tough. Sleeping on a couch isn't ideal, but the relief from escaping that toxic environment must be immense. What do you think? Did he handle it well? Were there other options? Share your thoughts below. Huge thanks for joining today, engaging with these stories, and showing your support. Your time and love mean everything to me. Hope to see you in the next one. Take care and much love.